It's so wonderful to have finally met you, to see you really. You know, I'd been dying to see you for such a long time, really, and I'd heard so much about you from so many wonderful people, you know, and I'm so glad you could make it to my drawing room this evening.
Thank you so much. I'm excited to be here.
Really. And you know, I have a little confession to make. I feel terrible, darling, but I have to tell you, you know, I've had this book lying here for the last 2 weeks now, really. And you know, I had every intention to read your book. You know, it looks so fascinating, really, you know. And I really wanted so much to read this book, but I'd been so busy reading between the lines, you know, of everything that Parvez Bhai has been saying. Thalassa, how long has it been? I mean, when was the last time you were in Pakistan, and how long after did you come back to Pakistan?
I haven't lived here since 1974,
Okay.
but I came back last summer. I come about every other year.
Every other year.
Yeah.
And what is it about Pakistan, Thalassa, that calls you back, or that attracts you back, or makes you come back here every time?
My dear, I have no idea. Whatever it is, it's in here. When I left Pakistan, I left a big part of me behind. It's a wonderful country. There's so much life here. There's so much energy here. We were driving on the way over here tonight, and there was so much going on, and I was thinking, if this were Boston, they would have rolled up the sidewalks hours ago. And here we are, and there are people cooking kebabs, and there are children running around, and there's so much happening. It just feels right.
That you know, you are of, your mother was British, and your
Correct.
father was American.
Right.
Ah, what a lethal combination, darling. You know, there the British and the American forces united. And then we have such an angel, really. You know, how do you view and how do you see, obviously living in America, post 9/11 scenario, you know,
In America,
in
you mean?
America, towards Pakistan, the perception that.
There's a very, very wrong perception of Pakistan in the U.S. When I came here a couple of times ago, let me think, it must have been in 2004, I called my sister because I wanted to know if she wanted a rug. I'd seen a beautiful rug and I wanted to get it for her, and I rang her up and I said, "It's me." And she said, "Oh my God, are you all right?" Now, this had never happened to me before. And I've been coming back and forth to Pakistan for the last 40 years, but it had never happened. This is what happens when the news is sort of skewed in one direction.
I know. Acha, tell me, what motivated you to write the trilogy of Paradise?
It just came to me all at once. It came to me all at once. I was going to write 3 books, and then I had the titles of all 3. Of course, my publisher changed one of them, but I knew the names. I knew that they would be 3 books, but it took me a while to understand that they were going to be fiction. And then I realized, this isn't going to be so easy. I have to write them all. I had to write total of about, these books altogether are about 1,000 pages.
Okay.
I'm so glad I didn't know that when I started.
I know. How difficult was it writing these books?
It's not that easy. The story comes to you. You can see it like a movie, but it's turning the movie into words that takes time and takes effort.
You know, I've been wanting to write my own autobiography, darling, but you know, I'm really scared because the autobiography that I'm going to write is going to boast of some very big names. You know, it's going to expose a lot of big people here in this country. And you know how Pakistanis are so scared of being exposed. I mean, everything is fine until it's behind closed doors, but the minute you want to bring things out in the open, they have an issue with it, really. Do you think we are a hypocritical society? As a Westerner, as somebody who sees the society from outside also, inside?
I think Pakistan is a human society. I think that everyone is the same. No one wants their little things to be aired. No one does. Here people do it in a more dramatic way, I might say. But that's all. Otherwise, people here are no different from anywhere else.
Actually, let's go back to your college days. Let's go back to the time when you were 21, a girl in love.
I was 21, I was in love. Yes, those were fine days. I had no idea what it would be like to come to Pakistan, but I didn't care. I was on my way. So I came, I learned about Pakistan. I stayed here actually for about 3 months before I got married. I loved every second of it.
Hi, Johnny. You know, I'm so happy for you. But you know, let's talk about your key to Pakistan, Bobby.
Bobby was He was the most charismatic human being I've ever met. He was the most charismatic. He was one of the funniest. He spoke English, Punjabi, and Urdu, all of them very badly, and all of them with a very strong accent. People laughed at him as much as they laughed with him. But he was one of the most loved people of his generation. You know what? I never could understand why he married me. I never got it. I went through all, when did I marry him? I married him in 1962, imagine. So many years ago. I still don't know why he married me.
So after your marriage, you settled in Lahore, I believe.
I settled in Karachi, but
In
I spent a
Karachi.
lot of time in Lahore because
Okay.
the whole family was up there.
Because the first of your books really is based, is a backdrop of Lahore.
That's right. In fact, all three books have a lot of Lahore in them, even this one. But the first two are set right there in the walled city.
So what was it about Lahore that attracted the culture, the heritage?
Well, my parents were archaeologists.
I do believe
just
so, yes.
love the history of it. The walled city is so fascinating. It's like going right back to the 1001 Nights. It's just wonderful. But everybody in Lahore used to say, "Oh no, you don't want me to take you to the walled city. Please don't make me go to the walled city again." Because, you know, the traffic was so heavy and all those Tongas. We once got into the most awful Tonga jam. That's all I can call it.
Aye.
Sitting there for, you know, half an hour trying to disentangle all the cars and all the horses and, you know.
Thalassa, you have children?
Yes,
Grown up?
yes.
Okay. How many?
2.
MashaAllah. How old are they?
Well, I'm not going to tell you how old they are.
Okay, well, how boys, girls, boy, girl?
1 boy and 1 girl.
Perfect. Well, that's brilliant, really. And are they here in Pakistan or are they in Boston?
One lives in London.
Okay.
He's a banker.
Wow.
And one lives in New York, but she spends a great deal of time here in Pakistan.
Okay. And your children, do they have the same kind of association or the same kind of sentiment towards Pakistan?
Very much so.
And they've been in touch with their family?
Oh, absolutely.
That is brilliant. Really, that is so brilliant. Thalassa, considering you're a Harvard graduate, and a thinking mind, intelligent person, obviously an opinion leader of sorts, somebody who affects or who can create who has a voice really and who can reach out to people through her writings, through her person. I mean, converting to Islam, your peers, your family, your friends back home, how did they react to it?
They did not react badly at all. They were kind of surprised. Of course, this was in the 80s. They were a little surprised because they couldn't understand why I hadn't done it before if I was going to do it. But everyone was extremely nice and accommodating. I mean, they love me. Why would they say anything?
I'm so glad, really. But in our part of the world, it's slightly different. You see, in Pakistan, it's slightly different. When you love somebody, you don't give them freedom. You actually, and I can't understand this Pakistani mindset at all. It's like, in Pakistan, and most people I know would turn around and say, love makes us possessive, and we're very possessive about people we love. And they will restrict people they love instead of giving them that confidence or that courage or that strength. And I don't know how to change that Pakistani mindset, darling. I'll be needing your help.
I'll be glad to do whatever I can.
Really, you must. Now that the trilogy is complete, your love for writing, your expression, it's here. It's taken the form of a book. All that you visualized, the story that you thought is out now. What next are you planning to do?
I'm actually planning to take some time off.
Okay.
My dear, my brain has turned to scrambled eggs with all of this. But I'm kind of thinking about a screenplay.
What motivates you?
Well,
What touches you?
One of the things that touched me and moved me a lot was the earthquake in 2005 here in Pakistan.
Were you here at that time?
No, I was in America. I was in Boston. And of course, Boston has a lot of Pakistani physicians. So people came and rushed over and brought things, and we sent money for medicines, and we sent wheelchairs, and we did those things. But then the following January, I woke up in the middle of the night, it was January in Boston, freezing cold outside. And I thought, what would it be like to be in a tent with my family, basically still outdoors, freezing cold? I thought, what would I want more than anything else? And what I would have wanted was a cup of tea. And I realized that very few people there have milk animals now. There isn't much fresh milk up there. So a group of us from Boston have been involved in giving goats, milk goats, to some villages in Muzaffarabad.
I
So
think
that's taken a lot of
that's
time.
such a noble cause, really, and that's not just giving them food, but that's, giving them small business also in a sense, and they can
Exactly.